just feel like there's no way SpongeBob's wife thought that Ariana was going to end up going for him. Like, of all the people cast in that movie, I'm sure she would have thought that Ariana would poach Jeff Goldblum before trying to poach her husband. Don't you think? Like, there's no way she thought she was at risk. And I think that's the most, like, insidious part of the whole thing. I'm not saying that she necessarily thought that she was safe from any interlopers, but there's no way. When he got cast in Wicked, there's no way she thought to herself, man, I hope Ariana doesn't go for my husband. There's no way. She had to have been blindsided. And to me, that's the absolute worst part of it from her POV. I'm sure she was like, Ethan, please become best friends with Ariana so that she and I can be homegirls. And then we can do girly things together and it can be so fun. Can you even imagine? I'm sure there are people's husbands who she would imagine would be candidates. Aaron Taylor Johnson might get poached by Ariana. Maybe Theo James is gonna have a little fling with Ariana. Maybe this new dude, Paul Anthony Kelly, because he's new on the scene. If they do something together, she might try to involve herself in an entanglement there. All of them knew that it wasn't gonna last. They all knew it wasn't gonna last. Ariana knew it wasn't gonna last. There's no way she thought she was gonna marry this dude. And even if she married him, there's no way she thought she was gonna ride off into the sunset, into eternity with SpongeBob. There's just no way. I'm sure that when Ethan told Lily J, I'm so sorry to break the news to you, but it's true, Ariana and I are together. I'm sure she was like, yeah, okay, have fun. Because this is gonna last for what? 2 months, 3 months, 3 years? How long could it last? And then you will have blown up your entire family for what? For a couple of years with Miss Ponytail? Dr. Lily J knew that it was not going to last. Worst of all, SpongeBob knew it wasn't going to last, but he didn't care. It was worth it for him anyway. And that to me is so icky. He didn't care if it was just a blip with Ariana. For him, it was worth it. There was never any way he was going to turn down the chance to be with Ariana, no matter how fleeting it was. And he didn't care about blowing up his family in the process. His wife knew that from the beginning, and Ariana knew that from the beginning. And all of them knowing this, and yet having to see it play out. And she's a therapist or a psychiatrist, she's a doctor of some kind. That is a nightmare. That's a true nightmare, having to watch that play out, because it almost, 3 years is long enough to theoretically justify it in the public's mind. We're not talking about it quite as much, but God, 3 years is a blip. That is just so brutal. It's just so brutal.